guys, welcome to Clockwork Noodles for another breakdown of the Apothecary Diaries episode 14. I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves and happy new year. Do make sure you guys are subscribed. This video is going to be awesome, little bits and pieces, so we're going to go through it together. It's definitely been a very interesting start to the year on my side of things. Hopefully at some point I'll get to talk to you guys about them. But for now, we're here to talk about the Apothecary Diaries and how awesome this show is getting. We've got a lot of new characters coming in with the new season. Change of pace as well. Primarily, let's talk about the introduction of the new consort. Having a colour pop as your introductory is something that really does make me take note. Colour popping, if you're not sure, is where you desaturate your sequence or your image and you have one colour taking priority. Is the red. We've established that red is her colour. She's also going into the garnet pavilions. Garnet is another colour of red. Very pretty stone. The mood itself is very downtrodden. An entrance into the pavilion with very little fanfare. It's cold, it's winter, it's very quiet. The red really stands out. Generally speaking, if you are colour popping, you're doing it either for styling or you're trying to warn somebody for something. But I can't really pick up on the concubine yet because she's a very hard concubine to read in general. The attitude, though, is the first thing I did note when she tosses the crown onto the box. It's upside down. Either has very little care for the crown or her position, or she doesn't want to be there. I do get the vibe with her that she just doesn't care, but that could just be me trying to make some very early judgments on what I've got, but definitely tossing the crown down. It felt like a bit of a middle finger to the establishment. We will see. First impressions of the concubine herself. Very pretty, but I don't get the feeling that she's like the others. I don't think she wants to talk. I don't think she wants to be friends. I think she's got her own thing going on. So she's going to be a very interesting character to get to know. Cello music on the first sequence is absolutely gorgeous. My favourite string instrument is a cello. Hearing it playing those very nice low notes. It always has this tinge of sadness. The sound is very rich. The sequence of her walking into her new home felt really sad, sorrowful. Maybe it's saying goodbye to your freedoms. We've already established that some of the concubines just don't want to be there, are forced to be there by family and stuff. It might be a case of her that she's just there because she has to be there. It's early days when it comes to her in particular. Now, poor Mao Mao, everyone loving her so much that she ends up being pushed forward to be the new lecture teacher. I like that though, it bites her in the butt because everybody really does like her. She's done a lot for the other consorts and I love how everybody is now like demanding that she's there, and it's great to see our girl getting so much favourable attention. I love it, but it is also really sad to see that it's like, oh god, no, I'm being roped into doing something crazy again, aren't I? I love how eager Jinshi is to try and help her, and then she literally hisses at him to get him to go away. Literally acts like her namesake, the cat. As you guys said, that Mao Mao is like little kitten or something, or it's like little cat. So I think that's really cute. I like the little play on words on that, and just I love also the fact that she's such a cool character in general, and her going in to give a lecture, just brass. I'm bold, I'm cool, this is me, I have no worries about what I'm about to do, and it's a lecture on 18 plus adult material, and it is absolutely hilarious, literally hilarious. All of the reactions are just priceless. We've obviously got giggling going on in the audience. We've got a lot of, oh my god, I'm shocked, I'm too young to be seeing this kind of reaction going on in the audience. A lot of the maids and the people that they're there with as well they're blushing, they're embarrassed, they're looking at the imagery that's being passed around, and it's just insane. And the new consort herself just can't care less. She's yawning, she doesn't want to be there. I mean, it's nice of her to at least join them, but it must be really awkward having somebody when you're all really getting into it, you're all having a laugh, and there's that one person who isn't laughing and just is just tossing books around and just doesn't quite get the vibe of the party too. So that must be quite awkward. My initial vibe of the consort is negative. Not in the sense that I don't like her, it's just I'm getting a sense that she's not going to be a friendly character towards our girl. And I love our girl to pieces, so I really hope that she's at least nice to our girl. Now, my first thought when I saw Jinshi, when she opens the door, is that he'd been slapped in the face, but it's the anime literally going OTT and trying to give us attention to details. The fact that he has a cheek pressed against the door for God knows how long that talk on adult material took, but it certainly left him with a red cheek because he was trying to really hear. I can also wonder and speculate at the conclusion that he must have drawn amongst the giggling and coming in, seeing some of them smacking their heads against the post. It's like, what have I just walked into? I absolutely love his reaction, like, what the hell's going on here kind of thing. What did you teach them? And I love the fact as well that we literally keep him out in the cold into suspense. Like, we're not going to tell you. I don't want you to know. The new key player that I mentioned last week is called Lacan, I believe his name is. He's definitely the first person who's on the scene when it comes to investigating the warehouse explosion. I think I knew immediately what had happened. Dude's got an eye for at least details where he's going around picking things up. I like him. The pipe, however, that they find is pretty familiar. Pretty sure last week he had it. So whether he's connected to it or not, or somebody took his pipe or he lent it out, or maybe it's a style of pipe that is given to the guys in the military, because I think he's got military links, maybe. I'm not quite sure. Don't know about him too much. All I know is he's a character in the OP. If you want to go and find out what I initially said from the OP review, do check out the episode 13 video, because I do go into some details when it comes to the OP and made a few theories on Lacan as a character. I absolutely loved the stillness and the quietness of the snow on the palace. That was really nice. And then hearing the explosion, it was quite muted, obviously quite far away from where Mao Mao was. She's like, actually, you know what? I'm not going to get involved. I'm going to go back to bed. Nice little effect of having it quiet, having it kind of muted as well. Jinshi's aide getting the daggers this week. She's generally quite favourable with him. She's always like holding him out of respect, holding high regards for him. Often when she talks about him, it's always, oh, it's a shame he's a eunuch. He's a cool character. I love that character. He's so observant. He's very thoughtful, I guess is another word I would put as well. I'm also really in love with the winter fashion that we see, the woolly cape and the fluffy collars that we see. I really want one. I think I said that last week. I want one so badly. I can just imagine that the material that this cloak is made of, and it's probably lined as well, is definitely wool or a wool blend. We're hearing a lot of cottons and silks being used with these characters in particular, but definitely I can imagine something a bit thicker just so she's protected from the cold. I also love the fact that it's actually Jinshi who probably did get it for her. Now, Mao Mao and the explosion was quite interesting, and the thought the curiosity killed the cat came to mind just very briefly. I hope it doesn't, but it definitely got her interested, and I love her just trying to figure out exactly, piecing bits together. This is the potato, this is this, I can see this might have happened. I love her getting all of the key information from the sequence, running to see another warehouse, just checking out that, you know, maybe my suspicions are correct. Let me run a theory. I love the way that her mind works. I've got this theory, let me test it. This is my hypothesis. Oh, this works out. I think it's a flower explosion. I also knew about flower explosions from my time of studying history. There's been a lot in the past where entire buildings are just wiped out in a single flash. As a model as well, there was a point when a lot of studio lights back in the day were like bulbs and proper old school studio lights. We do flower shoots occasionally. Nowadays you can do it because lights are protected. Flour doesn't really get into the gaps and there's no risk of fire. But back in the day, flour was banned from being in studios because they knew it would cause explosions. They thought the whole place would basically go up. Very, very dangerous risk, and I'm very glad that it's actually covered in the anime because it's a very real threat. And I like the fact that she's able to pick up on it and say, actually, you know what? It's nothing suspicious. You should just tell people to stop smoking. So basically, the moral of today's episode is smoking's bad, okay? Smoking's bad, MK. Yeah, I just needed to get that South Park reference out there. But literally the moral of the story is just don't smoke around these really old buildings. And the fact is, well, she smacks her hand on the bag and there's dust going up. So even dust can cause slight explosions too. Now, Lee Haku, I believe his name is, he is complete comedy gold. I absolutely love him. And the fact as well, people have cropped out the picture of him in the OP, flexing everything. Like, every muscle is being flexed. The dude has a body to die for. But I like the, I'm big, I'm tough, this isn't scary. And then literally running around screaming when there's a fire on him. He's such a fantastic support character. I also love the fact as well that he's quite friendly when he sees her. When he's like, oh, hello, little lady. Which, unlike last time when he's trying to run away from her, he doesn't actually want to be around her because she's the weirdo. He actually now sees her as a very friendly basis because obviously she put him in touch with the person of his dreams. And I love the fact as well that he got a promotion. So congratulations on your promotion. Information about belts and the colours showing the rankings for men and officials in the court. Just small details again. This anime is filled with them. There are so many attention to details when it comes to this show in particular. I absolutely adore the level that they go to. Talk about the very last sequence where we have a guy getting really upset at the bar. I'm not actually concerned about the guy getting upset at the bar. The person I want to draw our attention to is the person who's looking back at the guy getting really upset. And I think you briefly see the eye. I think he's got blue eyes. This character in particular, I believe we've seen before. I was racking my brain going, where have I seen you before? And I think where I saw this person before was in the salt case, where the guy sadly couldn't tell if the water was salty and he ended up dying. And I think it might be the same person evolved in that event in particular, where we were like, oh, was it on purpose? Was it maybe just done out of a joke? That's where I think the character's been seen. I don't know who it is, but it definitely feels like it's a importance if this character's coming up again. So hopefully we get some more information upon it. It also seems we might be actually seeing the Lakin character, who I think is important because of the OP, and definitely think I'm onto something with the meaning of the flowers and the colours in particular. The fact that they wilt away and then you see him. It's a very important sequence for a reason, and I can't wait to actually get to know the character in particular. We've heard one line from him so far, so I can't quite put a finger on who's voicing him yet. Very excited to see if it's somebody I recognise. But overall, a fantastic, solid episode. Really can't wait to see where we're going. Just liking the pace. I think we've slowed down a bit on the pace. I appreciate that. I want more Apothecary Diaries. I don't want people rushing the show or anything. I'm happy that it's still going, and I think someone did say that there's enough for more seasons. So even if we end this season, there's enough for more, and hopefully with how well it's doing, they'll see that it's worth giving us another season. If they do, I am all over those breakdowns. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you're looking after yourselves and had fun on this episode. There's a lot going on. I'm really enjoying these breakdowns. Thank you as well for your conversations. I am quite slow getting back on the replies, but I do try to at least react and comment to everybody. You at least get a reaction if I'm busy, but if there's something I want to comment, I will try my best to comment, even no matter how small the comment, just because I really do appreciate people taking the time out to even just put something on my videos. It really does mean a lot. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys again next week. Look after yourselves. Bye bye.